This Singapore upon Thames is a rather colourful expression for turning Britain into a low tax and less regulated economy. In plain words, just as colourful perhaps, certainly more familiar, to turn it into a tax haven. And for this, Singapore is both a metaphor and a model. It offers tax breaks, it offers very low personal and corporate tax, and almost no capital gains tax at all. Bringing this sort of thing to the banks of the Thames and to the banks along the Thames could bring billions and billions of new money into Britain from around the world and from EU institutions, or so the proponents of this idea suggest. But others are sounding caution about Britain's ambitions to become another St. Kitts or Antigua or Panama or Singapore. Certainly, such a move would place Britain into immediate conflict with the EU that has made a level playing field the basis of its divorce pact with Britain. The EU is emphatic that it has enough to hit back with should Britain upset the level playing field. For a start, it could squeeze movement of goods, essential goods, through the borders and through the ports, and that could hurt Britain in the streets, in the homes, and lead to scarcities and anger over these that the British government may not want to face. Already, border bureaucracy is slowing things down. Some shortages have been reported here and there, and we've all heard of the ham sandwich that the driver from Britain was not allowed to carry into the EU, but it could get a lot more serious than that. The EU can do very much more. It can hurt Britain at the level of big money, those expected billions. 80% of the UK economy is services, the bulk of that is exports, half of that to the EU. The present divorce pact between Britain and the EU does not cover services. British and Britain-based companies are continuing to trade under a grace period while negotiations continue towards an agreement in that field. But the EU is not going to let the British offer tax incentives to draw EU money away while giving the British unrestrained access to EU markets. Britain will not describe itself as a tax haven because, of course, it prefers to use language about itself that is polite. But offshore jurisdictions such as Guernsey and Jersey are well-known tax havens, and that offshore principle works also onshore. Major banks, financial institutions in London work in pretty much the same way. We have some historical echoes here. Britain continues to thrive one way or another, and one way and another, on the world's money. This invitation to big money comes holding hands with an invitation to migration, despite all that political and popular speak against migration. Anyone willing to invest £10 million in Britain can just walk in and start living here. If it's £2 million rather than 10, then it'll take about 3 years before you get residency and then citizenship. This money can come in from just about anywhere, from Swiss account, from this offshore account, that account. When it comes to money coming in, the British ask very few questions.